Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the final installments of my monthly music series that I was keeping up throughout 2022. I appreciate everybody that stuck with me during this series. It was something different I decided to do, and I wanted to be sure, to have something fairly consistent. Just it would give me the motivation to go ahead and keep making videos, knowing that I had, some sort of deadline to reach at the end of each month to make these videos. So I appreciate y'all watching. I'm definitely going to do monthly vinyl finds in 2023. I don't know that I'm going to do monthly music wrap ups. A lot of times I feel like they can often be repetitive um, with the finds, so it might end up being like a hybrid of the two. I don't think it's going to be a two-part like it's been this year, but in the spirit of 2022, this is how this is going to be filmed. So the first installment here is going to be December vinyl finds. Now, again, as I always say, these are albums that have not devoted an entire video to. So you will not see any VCLT or, in this case, any of my Christmas gifts that I received. Those were all separate videos. So with that being said, got a few CDs here and actually quite a bit of vinyl. And I'm kind of breaking a rule slightly because I have shown these records on another channel because I bought them with my buddy Tommy in Greensboro, but I'll get to that in just a few minutes once I show these CDs. I did finish out the year. I bought two final Christmas albums for cheap at the Barnes & Noble. I got John Denver and the Muppets. This was a favorite of mine growing up. Just a good, fun kids album, nostalgic, but even there's some solo stuff just by John, and obviously all the Muppets add entertainment. I know Jason likes this album quite a bit. Jason the Old Millennial. So there you go. And then lastly, in terms of Christmas CDs, I got the second Andy Williams Christmas album, Andy Williams Merry Christmas. Um, Very good. This one's a lot more. Uh, that's not more religious, but I guess there's some more traditional arrangements. Like for example, songs like "Little Altar Boy," "Some Children See Him," which is a beautiful song. Um, "Mary's Boy Child," "The Bells of Saint Mary." So it's kind of the first half is secular, the second half is religious, which is very cool. There's the inside. So really good to have those first two Andy Williams CDs. Um, Per Glenn Kellaway from the Basement, he did a great video couple weeks ago where he was talking about albums in his collection that were recorded at the Fillmore out there in California. And this was one of the ones that he showed, and I had to go find it somewhere, so I found it on eBay very cheap. This is the Byrds live at the Fillmore, February of '69. This was just after the Sweetheart of the Rodeo album. Dr. Birds and Mr. Hyde, I think, was the album that they were pushing. So you have John York on the drums, but you also have Clarence White and Gene Parsons. So the only original Bird is Mr. McGuinn. Really a country tinged album. If you like the Byrds' latter day country stuff, you'll love it. They do Nashville West, You're Still on My Mind, Pretty Boy Floyd, Drugstore Truck Driving Man. They do a really good medley, 9 minutes long, 9.5 minutes of Turn, 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 Mr. Tambourine Man, 8 Miles High. They just combine them all as one, but I think they do all of those songs in their entirety. The Christian Life, Time Between, the Chris Hillman song. This Wheels on Fire. They do So You Want to Be a Rock and Roll Star. He Was a Friend of Mine. And they finish it off with Chimes of Freedom. So really cool. Thank you, Glenn, for talking about it. I got this on New West Records. This is live from Austin City Limits, Johnny Cash, 1987, I believe. Came out in 2005, this particular release, and I had received a Black Friday credit for New West Records. This was a $13 record, so I got it for $3. So that was pretty cool, and it sounds great. It's really good. It's Johnny Cash when he was starting to go through that lull in his career, but he still sounds fantastic. And there are the tracks. I got 3 Ben Rector albums for my collection. Ben Rector's music doesn't really come out on physical format. I think he releases it initially when the album comes out, and then once it's gone kind of thing, and he focuses on digital. But Ben Rector is a singer-songwriter, pianist mostly. This is his album Magic, possibly my favorite by him. His website was having a really good sale where they found a few of these still in stock. This is from 2018. Love Like This, um, Sometimes, Old Friends, Extraordinary Magic. Just really good pop. Really tug at the heartstrings kind of music. Um, Something Like This, Ben Rector. This is from 2000 and I want to say 2010, maybe 2011. This one and the next one, I think, were back-to-back albums. Let the Good Times Roll is really good, really fun, upbeat song, kind of like an Andy Grammer kind of song, if you know Andy Grammer. Um, She Is, Falling in Love, Home, just again, just tug at the heartstrings kind of stuff. There's Ben Rector, quite a bit younger. I got to see Ben over the summer. I want to say June, June or July, down in Raleigh, North Carolina. And then I got this album, Into the Morning, Ben Rector. This one's a little bit poppier. It's got some good songs on it, but it's very dated in terms of like it sounds like an album made from 2010. Loving You Is Easy is a fun song, but again, very poppy. Moving Backwards, Dance With Me Baby, just again, tug at your heart kind of songs and some fun pop as well. All right, those are my CD finds. I've got quite a few records here. So I posted this on my community page, but I was able to visit my buddy Tommy down in North Carolina. I had borrowed an amplifier of his, and so we met up in Greensboro, which is about halfway for both of us to meet up. And we did a little record crawl the week before Christmas. So we went to a few record stores, and again, it's on my community page. Go to Tommy's channel. He's got a much better video about it than I have, where we both show what we found. But for those of you that didn't see it, or don't want to see Tommy, I'll show you what I got. And again, a lot of these albums, all but one of these albums, were $12 or less, and a lot of these were $2-3 records. So one place that we went was called Hippo Records in Greensboro, North Carolina, and somebody had brought in, I guess, a Ringo Starr collection. And normally Ringo Starr albums, you're looking, $12-13 at your record stores. I mean, they're pretty mass produced, and it's Ringo, so they're not in high commodity necessarily. But I got a bunch of Ringo records. The first one is Sentimental Journey. And let me also say, the records themselves, absolute mint condition. So you have Sentimental Journey on the Apple label there. This was Ringo's first solo record. It was Ringo doing the standards before doing the standards was cool. So he does, Sentimental Journey. He does Night and Day. Have I Told You Lately That I Love You? Not the Van Morrison song. Stardust. Bye Bye Blackbird. Just very charming. And all the production was by George Martin, I believe, with the orchestra. So that was awesome. So then you kept digging there, and I found Ringo, the Ringo album. Again, this is also on the Apple label, except it's the cool Ringo label. And other than some dust, I mean, again, this album, again, Tommy and I were talking, you can never find these covers 100%. This was like $6, and the record is just clean. That's Ringo's biggest album. Rotogravure, got this one as well. I've never heard this album, but Tommy said it's pretty good. Yeah, again, just super clean. Tommy and I were a little freaked out by how clean all these records were. Got the sleeve there. The Oft Forgot Ringo the Fourth. Again, very clean. $7.99 Bad Boy, Ringo Starr. And then the last Ringo I found, Stop and Smell the Roses. And this cover is pretty daggone clean. We can go with the shirt far too exposing of his midriff, as it were. Come on now. And they all had the original sleeves, so you didn't get, you don't have any like MoFi sleeves or anything. Well, sorry folks. This is real time. All right, I don't want to rip it, so I'm gonna do that later. Next, a couple of here and there sporadic albums. This is one that I've always looked for in my record store, but it's never in my one record store in my hometown. Jackson Browne, a lot of people call it Saturate Before Using. Very, 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 very clean copy. Really happy to have that. I've picked it up a couple other times at other stores, and it's just been a little bit too scuffed for my liking. Tommy threw this one at me and said I had to have it. Steve Forbert, his debut, Alive on Arrival. I believe it's his debut. I still haven't listened to it yet, but I'm told that I will like it. So it was $3. Tommy said, if you don't buy it for yourself, I'll buy it for you. But I bought it. To fill out my Van Morrison collection, Hard Nosed the Highway. This had the hit Warm Love on it. Really trippy looking artwork. There's Van. You also have Autumn Song, Green. He does a version of Green, yeah, by Kermit the Frog. Hard Nosed the Highway, Warm Love, Snow and Sand on Selmo. So, a lot of people like this album a lot. I did not own it in any format. I got a very clean copy of the first Brian Wilson album, self-titled, and it is a promotional copy. Again, probably $10. This is one of the more expensive albums. And then lastly, I've got two Monkees releases. I've been looking for this one for a while, and I came upon it. The record is very clean, gatefold. It's the first, as it were, Michael Nesmith solo album, even though it's not really. The Wichita Train Whistles Sings. This is instrumental versions of Mike Nesmith's songs. 9 Times Blue, Carlisle Wheeling, Tapioca Tundra, Don't Call on Me, Don't Cry Now, While I Cried, Papa Jean's Blues, You Just May Be the One, Sweet Young Thing, and You Told Me. So, really, really happy to have that on the Dot label. And lastly, this was a find that I've been looking for, and Tommy and I were actually just talking about it before we went down to Greensboro. He said, I can almost guarantee you'll find a copy of it. So I went along with it. Head by the Monkees. And this was the only new album that I bought. Just a fantastic soundtrack to the film. There, the Monkees looking very Revolver-esque. But you've got great songs. The Porpoise song, As We Go Along. Do I Have to Do This All Over Again? And you have Circle Sky. And then, of course, you've got all these, little spoken word parts in there. You've got, Can You Dig It? Daddy's song. Just really, really cool stuff. So I'm really happy to finally have this. This is the limited edition silver vinyl. I have yet to open it, but I believe it was cut by Chris Bellman. This is the 2011 reissue, I believe, on Rhino. But don't quote me about Chris Bellman, but I believe that's the case. But anyway, there you go. Those are my vinyl finds for December, my CD finds. Let me know what you think. Comment. Again, I appreciate you all sticking with me this year. And yeah, stay tuned for the next video where I will talk about what I was listening to in December. So in the meantime, y'all be good. Take care. Happy New Year. Talk to y'all soon. Bye now.